So you can, maybe we can dream of sun, although you don't need to, Anne. Feel the sun, imagine the sun coming in, nice and warm. We can do it, power of the mind. So take a few moments to land here and just to notice how you feel, temperature or otherwise. How you feel in your body, how you feel energetically, how you feel emotionally, what the energy in your mind's like. Just notice how you are. So we are all those things, not just one of them. Mind, body, emotion, energy. So just notice how you're doing, how you're coming to the mat here. And then take a couple of slightly longer, deeper breaths in and out. Just extending the breath in and extending the breath out. See if you can get a little fuller. Doesn't matter if you don't, if it's just a little millimeter more in volume. In fact, do one more time. Again, that slightly deeper, longer breath in and out. Lovely. And then give the shoulders a wee roll when you're ready. Nice. And then see if you can get a sense of where your sitting bones are. I think most of you do sit cross-legged. If you're sitting on your knees, you can do that as well. Get a sense of where your seat is. And then start to circle around that seat. So it feels to me like I kind of roll from one seating bone to the other and then tailbone to pubic bone. So I kind of imagine there's this like diamond that I'm sitting on. I'm starting to kind of roll on my seat, letting the top of me move. Lovely. And it doesn't need to be perfect, wonderful. You don't need to know what you're doing here. Just let yourself move in a circle. And then when you're ready, at some point in the circle, go the opposite way. Lovely. Just get a bit of movement. Gets the diaphragm moving a little bit. Core connection between pelvic floor and diaphragm. Wakes us up a little bit. Take one or two more and then come back to the center. And then just find yourself somewhere in the center. And then take another bigger breath in and out, maybe a good sigh out. Notice how you're doing after just that little bit of movement. And then come and lie on your back when you're ready. Hug your knees in. And then take a little kind of rock side to side, bit of massage into the lower back. And then you might want to make a bit of a circle there. You might put your hands on your knees and let them circle one way or opposite directions. And then go in the other way. Again, just getting a little bit of massage, a bit of rocking. And then let yourself again stop in the center. Give your knees a really good squeeze in. Nice. And then you're going to keep hold of, let's keep pop both feet down. Shut up, Caroline. Pop both feet down. And then you're going to bring your right leg in and hold the back of the thigh. Okay, and then flex your foot. We've done this before, so flex your right foot. Keep hold of the back of your thigh and let your right heel raise up. Foot goes up and then it comes back down again. So you just go into the very beginning of the stretch. You're not looking to straighten your leg. It's feeling a bit of stretch at the back of the leg. Lovely. I'm doing a couple more. We're going to do a bit of kind of hamstringy stuff today, so it's good to do this. Next time your foot's up, keep it there. And then press your heel up and your thigh forward so you do straighten your leg. It might be quite far forward, that's fine. It might be up in the air. Just give it a really good reach out, like a big good morning stretch. And then bring it back to the floor. Give your thighs a little shake out. And then we'll do the same on the left. So bring your left thigh in, hold the back of it. Flex your left foot. And then you're going to take that foot up. And then bring it back down. Again, just feel your way into the beginning of the stretch and check in with where you've got the connection with the mat, your lower back, maybe kind of top of your pelvis. Keep that steady. So we're not pressing that up as we lift the leg. Literally just getting the hamstring moving. Good. And then next time your foot's up, keep it up there. Just hold it for a moment longer. And then when you're ready, let go of the thigh, press the heel up, the thigh forward. As if you're giving your leg a loads of length in. Stretch it out. Good job. And then bring it down, give the thighs a little shake out. Good. And you're going to walk your feet about mat width apart and take your arms out to the side and then take some windscreen wipers. So again, you're getting that massage into the back of the body, the top of the pelvis. Lovely. We'll do a couple more. Nice. Okay. And then walk your feet in again. And then you're going to cross your right leg over the left one. So it's crossed right over, thighs crossing. Brilliant. And then lift your knees up, either holding the right knee or the left or one hand on both. Seeing if you can just hold your knees there or holding the leggings if it doesn't come in. And we'll get a little bit of stretch into the outer thigh, outer hip. Take one more breath there. And then pop the feet down, uncross the legs, give the thighs a little shake out. And then take your left across the right, and we'll do the same on the other side. So let them settle onto each other first and then lift up, holding hands on one or both knees, or however you kind of manage to hold that position. And let your feet relax. So sometimes the feet can be like, oh, and up in there. Just let them chill out. Nice. And take a couple of breaths there. It's okay. Pop your feet down. Uncross the legs. And then we're going to bring the knees up one more time. You're going to lift the feet up a little bit and you're going to give the legs a good shake out. If they're kicking in water. Nice, brilliant. And then bring them down and take your time rolling onto all fours. That's one of my favourite things to do at the moment, is stick my legs up in there and just give them a good old shake out. Sorts out wonders. And then find yourself onto all fours. Take your time, spread your hands out, maybe a little bit kind of side to side, forward and back, till you kind of feel like you've landed steady on your hands and knees there. Lovely. And then once you've got that, we're just going to take some cat-cows. So let the tailbone tuck under, let the crown of the head tuck, and then let them uncurl. And go fast enough that it feels a little bit flowy, and slow enough that you can feel the movements through your spine. So sometimes when we go too quick, we're just kind of working one bit of the back, going up and down. So really feel the length of your spine when you're in the cat stretch, the length of the back of the body. And when you go into cow, the length at the front of your spine from pubic bone all the way up to your throat. Nice. We're going to go one more time, guys. And then finding just that kind of middle place when you're ready. Doesn't need to be an exact science, and a bit press through the feet, the hands. Take one foot back, tuck the toes, give a good press through the heel, and standing into that leg as well as your other knee and the hands. And then bring it in and swap it over. So you're really feeling kind of where the center is. So putting a bit of weight into that left leg, tucking the toes, feeling a bit of a stretch, and then bringing it down. And then we're going to take the knees wide, toes together, press back into a child's pose, and actively use the arms here. So spread your fingers, push into the underneath of the knuckles, the top of the palms, the bottom of the fingers, as well as the pads of the fingers. So you're reaching through the sides of the body, pressing the tailbone back. Lovely. Take one more big deep breath in and out. And then bring yourself back up onto all fours. Bring the knees onto the hips again. And again, we've done this before. I'll remind you of it. You're going to take your knees together And then you're going to take your right knee across. So we're kind of tucking it behind the left. So it's like what we did lying on our back a moment ago. Yeah. And then you're going to use the hands to push your hips back and just feeling where you can go. That left knee might lift off the mat. It might not, doesn't matter. You're getting a little bit of kind of press back of the hips, a wee cross of the legs. Brilliant. Then bring it forward. Untuck the legs, the knees, give the hips a wee shiggle out, give your bum a wee shake. Nice. Knees are together again, so you can cross the left over the right. And then using the hands to push you back. Your right knee might lift off the floor, so it might kind of come up off it, it might not. But as long as you're feeling a bit of kind of stretch through the hips, maybe the outside of one thigh, hip, brilliant. And then come forward from that again, uncross the legs, take them a bit hip width apart, give your bum a wee shiggle. Nice. And then either pressing into child's pose or down dog, taking your time to find it. So if you're going into down dog, you probably spread the hands forward a wee bit. You might take your time, going with bent knees, and then walking through the feet. I just about slid off my mat there. I must be needing a new mat. Could have been a comedy moment for us all. It's a face planted. And if you are in down dog, stop for a bit of stillness. If you're in child's pose, maybe a huge big deep breath in and out. Nice, lovely guys. And then coming up to all fours again, or down to all fours, lift up to your knees, give the shoulders a little roll and hands back to press down the back, lift the chest. Just realise I'm at the other end of the mat for usual. I'm all upside down this morning. I'm going to stay here just so I don't get caught in my patterns. Lovely. Oh, not there. It's going to be one of those mornings with me, isn't it? And tuck the hands, roll the shoulders, and then just bring your right knee forward, right foot forward into a simple lunge. We're not going to do anything fancy with lunges. Just finding your way forward into it. And once you're there, lift the arms up. Take a good reach up. Nice. And let yourself really consciously look forward. If you've caught yourself looking down, take your look forward, opening the eyes out and the gaze, brilliant. And then bring that back, press back, and we're going to go straight to left, coming forward into a wee lunge again. Okay, so just finding on the other side, steady in the front foot, and when you're ready again, we're going to lift the arms up. Nice. Take your time, reaching up, looking forward, feeling length through your torso, opening through the front of it as well. Good job, guys. Bring that down, come back to your knees, and then one more time, down dog or child's pose, whichever one you prefer, and take time getting into it. There's no rush between one pose to the other. So feel your way. Whichever one you're in, can you feel the pads of your hands? The underneath of your knuckles, the pads of the fingers. Pressing, it's as if that push with your hands presses to your tailbone, which it kind of does. Taking a breath. And then coming either down from down dog or up from child's pose. One more big roll of the shoulders, look forward, and in fact, we'll take a lift of the arms up to feel some length through the sides of the body, the front of the body, and keep the length on the back of your body as well. So we'll lift the breastbone a little bit, but keep the lower back lengthened. It feels to me like I'm kind of in a tube, a big slinky tube, so I can't just drop into it. Nice. And then bring that down, look forward, roll the shoulders, and then take one foot forward, whichever one you want, and come and stand on your feet at the top of the mat when you're ready. Cool. Okay, I am going to turn this way because that board's in the way, so it's not the best. Brilliant, guys. Keep your feet about hip width apart. Take a little bit of time going pads of feet, heels, find the middle, and then steady into your feet. Feel your body lengthen up out of them. Collarbones are wide. The breastbone's proud. The back of the body is soft, almost like it's kind of softening down the back of you from the top of your head. And gazing forward, fingertips reaching down, so if they're being pulled down by little strings. And then take a big deep breath in and a big deep breath out. Okay. Hands come to your hips. So we're just going to take some standing poses you all know. So we'll go with the same leg so I don't get confused. So if you've got your back to me, it's fine. You're going to know what you're doing. Take your right foot back up onto the back toe. So we're staying with the hips forward, looking forward, and you're going to lift up to that back toe, heel, ball of foot, heels lifted, and then bend your front knee. Okay. And then find where the feet are long enough away from each other that you can lengthen out through the back thigh, and also far enough apart that it feels stable. Okay. Breastbone's proud, and see if you can let the tailbone soften and bend that front knee just a little bit more if it's got it. Lifting the back thigh maybe a little bit more. Good job. And we're going to take both arms up for now. Lifting them up. So steadying into this. Use the front foot, the heel, the ball of the foot to keep pressing and holding you steady. Nice. Okay, so from here, you might end up turning away from me. The arms are going to stay up. You're going to turn your torso to the right side of the mat as you drop the back heel down and toes out, and we come into warrior two. So kind of shuffle your feet. You might bring the front one forward a little bit so they're in line. You might shift the back toes in a wee bit so we're kind of like 10 o'clock-ish, and open the arms out. Nice. So we're in warrior two, and just stop there for a moment. Feel the inner thighs lengthen away from each other as your sitting bones drop or feel slightly pulled down to the floor. And again, let your tailbone soften. So for me, often my tailbone kind of wants to stick up and out. So it's not necessarily tuck it and haul it, just let it soften. Nice, lovely, guys. Okay, your front arm's going to lift up as your back one goes down, and we're going to straighten the front leg, which is your left leg, if I've got it right. And we're going to really lengthen out that front side, that left side, but also push with the back leg. So we're not just collapsing down onto that back part of the movement. So again, it's like that tube. Lift up and out of this as you press steady into your feet. Brilliant. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Nice. Okay, from there, we're going to keep the legs straight. We're going to lift the arms back to warrior two, lengthening out. And then we're going to swivel the tailbone to the right as we come down into triangle. Gorgeous. Find your triangle, find both feet. So front pushing it back, back pushing the front. So again, we're not just collapsing down into that front part of it, but it's easy to give to gravity. Let yourself push away from the floor and lift and lengthen. Good job, guys. Take one more big deep breath in here. Breathe out. And on your next in breath, you're coming up. You're keeping the legs straight to come up. And we're going to bend into that front knee back to warrior two. Nice. And again, see if you can let those inside thighs lengthen away from each other. The sitting bones get to open and then drop. Gorgeous. Okay. And then you're going to take your time. You're going to look to the front of your mat, down that left hand. And if you can, swivel up onto the back foot and turn and face the hips to the front again. You might walk your foot a little bit wider at the front, hands to hips. You might be sliding on your mat like I am, so there might be a wee shuffle of the feet. You can always just put the foot down. You can steady onto 2 feet if you need to. And then hands on hips, look forward. And when you're ready, you're going to see if you can take a big step to the front of the mat with the back one. If it ends up being a few wee pushes of the back foot and a few wee steps, also good. Brilliant. And we're back at the top of the mat, steady for a few breaths. Good job, guys. Okay. So take time here. You might well feel a bit squint on your feet. I know I do. Front of feet, back feet, steady into them. And that in itself might start to kind of sort out where it feels a wee bit squint from just doing one side. Front and back of the body long, tailbone soft. Gaze forward, arms reaching down. Brilliant. Okay. And then let's do the other side. Hands to hips to start. Your left foot takes a step back. You're up on the back foot, up on the ball of the foot, heel high, and take your time to feel how wide do the feet need to be steady. So wider tends to mean steadier. How far apart do they need to be that it doesn't feel like you're being pushed too far forward or back. And then you're going to lengthen the back thigh and bend the front knee. Good. Tailbone as soft as you can find it. And again, the arms are going to reach up. Fab. Okay, with the reach, can you let the arms lift up out of the torso without the hands excitedly pulling them up? So let your shoulder blades stay settled, rooted. And take a breath in, take a breath out. Really nice, guys. And then from here, we're going to turn to the left side of the mat. We're going to come into warrior two, the arms open. That left foot might need a bit of a shuffle, or the front one shuffles more over to the left to bring the feet in line. Your left toes might be turning in slightly to the center. To be honest, it's as long as you feel you can settle steady onto the feet. The rest will look after itself. Nice. Open the collarbones. Slightly draw the elbows back. The arms are staying straight, but there's that sense that they're being pulled back a little bit. Nice. And then see if you can lengthen the inner thighs away from each other. It's the sitting bones drop. Good job. That left leg's working it hard to push you into the center. The right one pushing you back into the center. You guys are awesome. Well done. Breathe. Nice. Your back arm, the left one's going to come down as the right one comes up. And you're going to push into your right leg or reverse triangle. Drop that back arm down the back, but really be strong in that left leg. So we're not just collapsing down. You're pushing length up and over on that left side. Well done. Really nice. Your right arm might be up, or if it feels too much, you can always just place it across your chest. Nice. Keep the legs straight as you open the arms back to warrior two arms. Torso comes back to the center. And you're going to send your tailbone to the left as you fold into triangle over that right leg. Awesome. Good. Let that right hand grab somewhere, shin, thigh, just not the kneecap. Open out your wingspan. And then again, that right leg, we're not collapsing down onto it. We want to kind of push through it up and over. So maybe a bit more in the heel. Looks great. Well done. One more big deep breath in and out here. And your next in breath, keep the legs where they are. You bring your torso up to the center. Whew. And then when you're ready, bend that front knee and we're back into warrior two. Gorgeous. So again, that sense that the inside thighs lengthen away from each other and maybe the sitting bones get a bit of space to drop down. All just suggestions. You know where you are, what your body's feeling its way through today. Good. And then start to bring your attention to that back foot, the ball of the back foot. And you lift up onto it and swivel as you turn to the front of the mat. You might find you need to walk the feet a little bit wider, or you might put the foot down and reset it again, and arms are up. Good, okay. Lengthening that back thigh away. The front underneath the thigh, lengthening away from the back thigh. And tailbone soft again. Brilliant, strong one. One big deep breath in and out. And then starting to prepare to come to the front of the mat, bring your hands to your hips. And it's either a big step or it's a couple of wee shuffles, which is what mine are going to be. Kick the legs out once you get there and settle back. Probably feet about hip width apart. Front feet, back of feet, settle onto them and take a big deep breath in and out. Back at the front of your mat. Good. Tailbone soft. Breastbone proud, arms reaching down and gazes forward. Good job, guys. And then from there, I'm just going to step back a wee bit. So yeah, feels like I'm going to hit my door there. Probably not. You're going to put your hands onto your hips. Okay. Feel the balls of your feet and feel your heels. And then we're going to crease in the top of our thighs, sending the breastbone and the crown of the head forward as the tailbone reaches back. Okay. Now, do your best not to just drop onto the heels. There's a bit of weight in the balls of the feet, but it's going to depend on the calf length, tightness at the back of your legs, sense of reaching up the back of the thighs and up the length of your lower back. Place your hands onto your thighs and then give them a wee push as you possibly straighten your arms. Again, depends on your arm length. Take a breath in, breath out. Nice. And then from there, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to soften. So the knees bend as much as you need to let everything go a bit ragdoggy. Ragdoggy? Ragdolly. That's a new one. Give it a wee shake out. And then you're going to keep the knees bent to begin with. Start to roll up through your spine. Keep the head and the arms hanging, and you'll gradually start to straighten the legs. Lift all the way up. And then stop back in mountain pose. Gaze is going to look forward and standing strong and proud, but also a softness with it. I think sometimes when we stand, it can be too quick to go like this. Let yourself, let your arms hang with just a bit of energy drawing them down. Let yourself be tall without tense. Nice. Well done, guys. Hands come to your hips. And it doesn't matter what way you step, we're going to take. So if you need to see me, then go with that side. We're going to take a big step back to the long side of the mat. So your legs are going to come, feet are going to come wide. Okay. And we're going to turn the toes out to begin with. Both toes out, sort of 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Nice. Hands come back. You're going to reach them down past the tailbone. And then there's a slight press forward of the hips. So you might feel a bit more weight into the balls of the feet as you lift your breastbone, lift the gaze slightly. So you might feel a bit more weight in the balls of the feet, but also a wee settling onto the heels. So as if the back of the body gets to soften a little bit as you come here. Nice. Breath in, breath out. And then bring that gaze back down. Bring the hips back a little bit so you're more over the center of your feet, and place the hands on your hips. Turn your feet forward now, so they're pointing 12 o'clock-ish. And then we're going to fold forward, creasing at the top of your thighs and letting yourself fold forward, lifting the back of the thighs up and come into a place where the head can drop if it's happy to. Hands are going to stay up at the hips just now. Good. And then you're going to slide the arms down the legs to wherever they reach. So it might be thighs, it might be shins, ankles. You might come to the floor. So if you can reach the floor, maybe put like fingertips onto the floor and steady into that. It doesn't matter where the hands reach to. Okay. And then just when you're here, feel where the weight is over your feet, heels, balls of feet. If you're very, very heavy into the heels, can you bring your hips forward, feel a bit more weight into the balls of the feet as well? If you're very heavy onto the balls of the feet, can you bring a little bit of drop into the heels to steady you and see how that feels? We're going to stay here for one more breath, guys. You're doing brilliant. Nice. Bring the hands back up the legs onto the thighs. And at the top of the thighs, so the palms are, the fingers are in towards the inside of your thighs, and then you're going to press into them and lengthen your arms to lengthen your spine. Yes, exactly like that. Well done. I wasn't sure if I was going to be understood. And then when you're ready, a breath in is going to lift you up. You're going to walk the feet back in, and you're going to give them a right good shake out. Kick them out, and then come and stand at the top of your mat. Nice. In fact, give them a bit of a kind of shiggle out, a wee walk on the spot, anything that feels nice. In fact, it might be nice, yeah, just to do that kind of walk on the spot. Good. And then we're going to kind of do the opposite by taking the arms up, lifting up, gaze up. Again, check you've not just come onto the balls of your feet and lift your heels away. Bit of balance into the heels, bit of press into the balls of the feet. Nice. And then arms are going to come down, look forward, roll the shoulders, kick the legs out one more time. And then when you're ready, come down onto all fours. She says, checking the time. So come down onto all fours, and we're going to counter what we've been doing by bringing the weight to all fours, so we can let the arms have a bit of support for us as well, and take a big cat stretch. So particularly push space between the shoulder blades. Okay, let the head drop. Again, let the tailbone be soft as it drops. One more big deep breath in and out. And then you're going to take your time slowly going to the opposite. So you're going to lift the tailbone, the breastbone, and come into cow stretch. And stay there for a wee moment. Again, feel the hands press. And this time you want to imagine the collarbones are wide. There's length from the throat all the way down through breastbone, belly button, pubic bone. So a long, strong, connected line at the front. Big deep breath in and out. And then see if you can just take a moment to find the middle place. It's not too one or of another. You might take a bit of a wiggle before you get there. Your gaze might be slightly down. Good job. Okay. Bring your knees together. We're going to go where we were back at the beginning. You're going to take your right knee across the left. You'll probably find you drop a bit more to the left. Start to use the hands to push your weight back. The left knee might lift off. Sitting the heels back. It might feel a little bit different now. Whether you've got more room, flexibility, or the legs are used and tired and aren't as happy. Just kind of feel where it is now. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then you're going to walk your hands forward, bring your knees back to the mat if one's come off. Uncross the legs, and then take your knees wide, both knees wide, and your toes out mat width. Yeah, so we're not coming toes together. And then from there, pop down onto your elbows. So to open the sitting bones. And depending on where you are, it might feel that it's enough here. You might want to walk your elbows back a bit to push the hips back. Just kind of feel your way with it. Some of you might be just perfectly happy balancing on the elbows. Getting a bit opening to the sitting bones, the hips, in a slightly different way with the feet that wee bit wider. Nice. Breath in, breath out. Good job. And then you're going to walk your elbows back to where they started. If they came back a bit, you're going to come back up onto your hands and bring your knees and feet back under you, all fours again. Nice. Okay. And then guys, if you take your knees together again, and we'll cross the left knee over the right this time. Good job. You might well kind of drop over the right, press into the hands, and again, sit back, push back to where your hips, knees, body feels happy to go. So it doesn't matter if it's just a push back a couple of millimeters, or if you're able to pretzel your sitting bones towards your back of your calves. It doesn't matter as long as it feels for you. They say there's something interesting happen. It's a good way to kind of work out your challenge. And sometimes you go, should I push myself through? Should I just go with this? If it feels interesting, stay with it. If it starts to feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Agitating, probably time to come out of it. So press forward from there. Bring your knees back to the floor and then back apart from each other. And then again, you're going to take your knees mat width-ish and your feet go with it. And come down onto your elbows. So we're going to do the same one again, onto your elbows. Now, you might be happy where you are there. You might want to tuck your feet out, turn your feet out. So the inside of your feet are pointing towards the mat. My feet don't want to do it. So, but if yours want to go there, fine. And then again, kind of feel where you want to maybe go with this. You might press, walk the elbows back. So it's about really opening the sitting bones. And it's also going to open the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings. Our hamstrings can get shortened in this life we lead. It's not just a case of folding forward to stretch the hamstrings or straighten the leg. You can get some of it stretched out here. Take a big deep breath in and out. And then bringing yourself forward if you've walked back. Coming up onto the hands. And then walking your knees in again. And then whatever you need. So there might be a bit of a kind of wiggle of the bum. There might be a bit of cat-cowing. What I want to do, you might come up to your knees and roll your shoulders if you've been on your hands too much. Anything that feels nice here before we bring ourselves, let's go on our back actually. I don't think we've time for the sitting stuff. And I think you've had enough of stretching your hamstrings. So come and lie on your back when you're ready and hug your knees in and take a nice little kind of circle like we did right in the beginning. You might have your knees apart or you might be together. Anything that feels just kind of nice for the body here. Okay. And when you're ready, you'll pop your feet down to the floor. And there might be a little lift of the hips, a wiggle of them. Okay. And then once you're ready, you're going to bring your arms up above your shoulders. So your fingertips are up to the ceiling. And like we did the legs, give the arms a good old shake out. And then turn the palms into each other and take them just slightly wider so you can kind of feel the shoulder blades drop, and particularly the outside edge of your shoulder blade drop to the floor, if that makes sense. And from there, you're going to take the arms overhead. Now, they're going to go as wide as they need to in order for you to let those arms drop. So if the hands are dropping and the elbows aren't, go wider and let the arms just drop down. And take a couple of breaths there. You might breathe into the back of the ribs to let the back of the ribs settle, soften a little bit. And then on your next out breath, you're going to bring the arms back up overhead, fingertips towards the ceiling, give them a little shake out. Good. And then we're going to do that one more time. So palms towards each other, a little bit wider so you can feel the shoulder blades settle. And then they're going overhead. And again, they're as wide as they need to be so the arms can really settle into the floor. And again, a breath maybe into the back of the ribs to let them settle. Good. Now, we're going to bring the attention to the legs. You're going to walk the feet together. And then you're going to let the knees drop out and the soles of the feet are together. So we come into a little diamond with the knees. Perfect. Well done, guys. If that feels too much with the arms overhead, then on an out breath, bring them up and down and just place them at the side of your body or onto your torso. If it feels okay, then let them stay here for a few breaths. Getting a bit of opening of the hips, opening of the front of the body. Take one more breath in and out. Okay, and then if you can, keep the arms where they are. If it's getting too much, then bring them down first. You're going to walk the feet out slightly as you roll the knees in. And then you're going to bring your arms up and over, give them a good shake out again. And then you're going to bring them down to either side of the body or hands on torso. And then you're going to place the arms down at the side of the body if they're not already. And the heels come towards your bum as much as you can, but not to the point where you feel like you're really kind of clinging onto the floor. Then you're going to press the shoulder blades back to the arms into the floor as you press your feet into the floor, and your hips are going to lift up into a bridge. So we're just going to do this one time. Push the floor away with the backs of the arms and the feet, the heels, the balls of the feet, Stay for a big deep breath in and out. And then when you're ready, see if you can keep the arms pressing a little bit still as you bring the torso down, all the way down. And then once you've done that, you're going to hug the knees in, give them a good hug. You might lift your head or you might not to hug in. And again, let yourself kind of roll side to side with it, make a circle. And then last little bit, you're going to hold on to one knee as you lengthen the other leg out. Draw the toes back, push the heel away. Can you tell this is one of my favourite things to do? I think I do this pretty much most practices. And then bring that knee in, swap it over, stretch the other one out, give it a good reach out. Draw the toes back, heel away. Nice. And then bring that in. You can either hug the knees again or pop the feet on the floor or stretch both legs out and have a nice big morning stretch. Anything that feels helpful for you in terms of movement before we settle for a couple of minutes, and just go ahead and do it. Or if you do just want to come and find that quiet position, equally good. So, somewhere where you can be for a couple of minutes when you're ready. You might find that you want to notice your breath for this couple of minutes if you need a focus, or let your mind drift if that feels helpful. And I'll meet you back here in a couple of minutes. Decide you want to stay here for longer, then just let my voice drift over you and stay in whatever you need. If it does feel like time to bring practice to close, then take the time you need to come to a seated position and get there how you choose and when you're ready. When you do get there, some of you will be quicker, slower than others. When you do get there, just take a moment to let yourself be here again, upright, sitting. Same as we were at the beginning, but possibly different from how we were at the beginning. So notice how you're doing now. Body, mind, energy, emotion. Sense of your wholeness there. How are you? Notice if there's something that feels helpful to take from the practice. A word, a thought, a phrase, a feeling, a vibe, a light bulb, anything that feels helpful. Breathe it in. And then when you're ready, take your hands to heart center. Point where you know practice is coming to a close, but it always goes off the mat with you in one way, shape, or other. But making this space now to thank yourself for coming here, practicing, moving. And please do thank yourself for being who you are, because I, as always, want to thank you for being you. Namaste.